Childhood movies. Who doesn't love to take a trip down memory lane and watch some of your favorite movies from your childhood? When you rewatch some of your childhood favorites, it can hit you with such a wave of nostalgia. And sometimes you see a movie and it's just like you remembered. Or you see a movie and you go, oh no, this can't be good. The Chipmunk Adventure is one of those movies. Now, don't get me wrong, I love this movie as a kid. I love the animation, the story was super fun, I love the colors, I love the characters. The story and the adventure that the Chipmunks go on is honestly perfect for a kid's movie, but it was only upon rewatching it as an adult that I realized, how did some of this stuff slip in here? You know? And it's kind of problematic. Yeah. So the whole plot of this movie is that the Chipmunks and their friends the Chipettes are hired by these German people? I think they're German? They're European ambiguous, let's just say. And they are hired by Klaus and Claudia to race around the world for $100,000. Today that's kind of not a lot of money, but that's a lot of money back in the day when this movie was made. Though little do they know, because they're literally children, albeit weird chipmunk children, that they're actually diamond mules for these two criminals, Klaus and Claudia. Like, as a kid, totally flew over my head. Watch it now, you're like, oh, so they're basically trafficking these children. I don't know what else to tell you. That's in this movie. They're trafficking them as diamond mules. Yeah. Oh yeah, Klaus and Claudia are actually siblings, though I've never met any siblings that are like in their 40s that live together in a mansion. Like, I think this is like kid movie, mentality, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain things in kids movies that would only happen in kids movies. So they decide to travel around the world in hot air balloons because earlier in the movie, Alvin and Brittany, the leaders of their respective gangs, their cohorts, if you will, are playing this game that they travel around the world in hot air balloons. So they decided to do that in real life. I don't make the rules, I just watch the movies. So the Chipmunks' first stop is in Mexico, while the Chipettes go to Bermuda, where Brittany is almost eaten by a shark. That's in this movie, in this children's film. There you have it. Oh, this movie's also a musical. I forgot to mention that. So at their first stop, the boys stop for a musical number because why not? And they sing this song called Ay Ay Ay, I think. Ay Ay Ay, Ay Ay Ay. Ay Ay Ay. It's fun. It's like a fun, fiesta style song. As a kid, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a bop, if you will. Now, as a kid, I loved this soundtrack. There's a lot of really fun songs in this movie, and there's one song in particular, actually there's a couple, that are very, very, very questionable for children's film. Well, one of them specifically. Yeah, there's a song montage over them traveling from their various drop-off points from different countries, and the song is amply named Off to See the World. Honestly, it's a really, really fun song. I think the lyrics work, it's fun. Who doesn't love a good montage in a movie? You can't go wrong. Hey, don't you know that we're off to see the world? We're off to find things new, so we will follow every clue. Just if there's suddenly a chance to find if all we dreamed in dreams was true. When the two teams meet up in Greece, they sing, which is hands down the best song in the film, which is Boys/Girls of Rock and Roll. It's a bop. Little David was bumping. 26-year-old David is bumping to this music. It's a fun time. So it's at this point in the film, there's various hijinks for each team to, kind of deal with, various mishaps as they go to each location, each drop-off. They're supposed to drop off their doll that's given to them. So yeah, that's how they become diamond mules in this film. So each team is given 12 dolls, and they're supposed to give one doll to the drop-off. Then they get a doll from the other team as sort of a verification that they've actually been to this checkpoint. And after the Athens boys/girls of rock and roll scene, that's where this film starts to really unravel plot-wise in terms of questionability for children's programming. Aside from the fact that, two grown humans have hired children chipmunks to become diamond mules for them. I still can't believe I'm saying that this is the plot of a children's film. It was the 80s, anything could happen. And aside from that fact, these characters aren't exactly well developed at all. Alvin is the cool one. Theodore is the fat one. Simon is the smart one. And the Chipettes are basically the female copy and paste versions of these characters, save for Eleanor, because she gets a little bit more character development because she's not as, I'm sorry to say, dumb as Theodore. Or I guess trusting. Oh, there's even a scene that plays all their stereotypes out all at once. It's kind of hilarious.
We're the hottest act in rock and roll. But you don't have that problem, do you? No. Sure we do. No, you don't. All right, Mr. Popularity. How much you wanna bet we can out-rock and roll you? We've got to keep these two apart. Come on, Theodore. On my cruise.
After this point in the film, as I said, starts to get problematic. We're going to unpack that. The Chipettes go to Giza, and the Chipmunks go to some jungle because they try to take a shortcut. It doesn't really explain where they are. But the Chipettes are captured by a young sheik hired by Jamal. Okay, so Jamal is this inspector that's been trying to nail Claude and Claudia for being diamond smugglers. At this point in the film, you don't know that the two people hired by them, you just think that they're goons, but it turns out there's like a twist hired on later on in the film. You kind of see it coming. So Jamal hires this sheik to capture the Chipettes so that they can hand them over safely to, I guess, the U.S. government. I don't really know why they need to do it. I guess they're just trying to stop the diamonds from moving. I don't know. So instead of following through with the sheik's deal with Jamal, he actually keeps them all hostage and decides to take Brittany as his to-be wife. Again, this child, so this is a child sheik taking a child chipmunk human. That is a sentence that I just said right now. To be his betrothed wife. I don't know how this happened.
You think I'm gonna marry that pint-sized twerp? You're nuts!
So yeah, you can see how that's kind of a problem. Oh yeah, and then on top of all that, they dress the Chipettes in these super revealing belly dancer sort of clothes. I don't know the proper term, so I don't want to, mislabel them. But yeah, it's just like, is this clothing appropriate for, again, chipmunk children? Gonna be saying that a lot in this review. Again, these are literal children. Chipmunk children. There, I said it again. And then, on top of that, if you didn't think it'd get any worse, as I mentioned, there is one song in the film that is very questionable for a child's film. Brittany and Jeanette, in order to steal back the dolls from the sheik, they have to sing a song called Gettin' Lucky to seduce these snake things so that they can get the diamonds back. I don't think I need to explain why that's a problem. And here's the thing, this is an animated children's film, so you have to specifically animate a certain scene to a certain song so that the lyrics match the mouths that are moving, the tone of the scene, everything. So they specifically chose the song Getting Lucky to animate in this film. Oh, it's just very problematic. Yeah, this movie would not be allowed to be made today for this scene alone. Yeah, I don't think I need to explain why a song Getting Lucky being sung by children to seduce snakes is a problem. Just saying. I also want to know, did anybody think in, the creation of this film, maybe we shouldn't have the children sing a song about seducing snakes? Just saying. Just me? Apparently, because it happened. Yeah, big yikes. However, after this, there actually is a nice ballad scene between the Chipettes and this little penguin. So this penguin is gifted to Brittany as a wedding gift. Again, So they sing this song called My Mother, and it's basically them feeling homesick and wanting to see their mother again because they see that the baby penguin is homesick. Because, yeah, he's a penguin. He needs to live in the Antarctic, not in the desert.
Friend and companion, I can always depend on my mother. That's who I need. My mother, that's who I need.
So the Chipettes ultimately decide to return to its family, even though it kind of takes them on a detour off course. I think they made the right call. Meanwhile, the boys, while they're on this shortcut in the jungle, are captured by natives and are attempted to be sacrificed to a pit of crocodiles. Because why not? Let's just keep going with the problematic stuff in this film. This movie did. It just went full steam ahead. This whole scene I just feel is super racist. I don't know what tribe they're trying to depict here. They just shouldn't have went there. Let's just say that. They also sing this song called Wooly Bully, which again, with the scene in mind, again, tinge of, let's just not do this, you know?
Bully, bully! Bully, bully! Yeah, right! Bully, bully! Bully, bully! Bully, bully!
So as they're about to be sacrificed, the Chipettes swoop in and save them, so everything's fine because it's a kid's film. Obviously, they're not going to be sacrificed to crocodiles. But they did seduce snakes, so, you know. They land at LAX, and they are greeted by Klaus and Claudia, who are not happy to find out that the chipmunks have, you know, during the course of the film, they realize that there's diamonds in the dolls. They're not happy that they found out, so they chase them to the airport because every good movie needs a chase scene, you know? And this chase scene, I remember actually as a kid, it being one of the scenes that like stuck out to me because the song they played during it, which is called Diamond Dolls. Honestly, I think it was a honestly kind of fun scene. It made me want to be like, I wonder what happens when you go down the conveyor belt with like all the luggage and furniture at an airport. Kind of made me want to do it. Would it ever happen in real life? Probably not. But yeah, this movie made me want to go down a luggage chute at an airport. True story. But yeah, the song that plays, Diamond Dolls, the lyrics are super fun. Song's honestly a bop. There's some bops on this soundtrack minus a couple that we mentioned previously. But yeah, solid song. They ultimately capture the chipmunks by tricking them into thinking that Klaus and Claudia have captured their babysitter, Miss Miller. Oh yeah, so Miss Miller is their babysitter in the film. She's, in the beginning of the film, she's very dumb, very like aloof, you know, creative kind of person. You know what I mean? We all know those people. She's also animated very human-like. Like, we all know someone that looks like Miss Miller. You know what I mean? Like, you've seen a Miss Miller in real life. There's some uncanny valley-ness in the animation in this film, albeit this film is very well animated. Some of the facial animations in this film are very interesting, to say the least. It's just very like, what? You know? Yeah, so they get captured. Dave, which is like the chipmunk's father, I think? Adopted father, because he's not a chipmunk. Also, Dave is like the most aloof, dumb human being next to Miss Miller in this film. And as a David, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed in Dave. Yeah.
Dave!
Huh?
Help!
Somebody! Help! My son's in trouble!
Inspector Jamal, let's go.
So Jamal, he shows up, he's like, yo, I'm a good guy. Oh yeah, it's the reveal. Turns out Jamal was a good guy all along because obviously Klaus and Claudia are the villains because they're literally like mustache twirling villains in this film. They hired children to smuggle diamonds. Need I say more? So they chase them. Little do they know, Miss Miller's barreling down the highway. She ends up running Klaus and Claudia off the road. They crash. So Klaus and Claudia are arrested. The chipmunks and the chipettes are saved. It's a happy ending, but it wouldn't be a chipmunk movie without the famous line from Dave.
Okay. We'll give you half.
So that's the Chipmunk Adventure. Don't get me wrong, the animation is absolutely amazing. I think 2D animation is honestly a lost art form. And when I look back at these films, it just feels so nostalgic to me. Yes, CGI and 3D animation is great in its own right, but there's just something special about 2D animation that is kind of lost in today's children's films. And honestly, as problematic as this movie can get, it's a lot of fun for a kids movie. It's got action, adventure, comedy. Honestly, I think minus its problematic parts, you got a really solid kids film. Although, like any trip, it's got its road bumps, but at the end of the day, it becomes one hell of an adventure. Thank you guys so much again for watching. If you guys like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos, and click the bell notifications to be notified every time I drop a video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.